Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, this has been a video that I have been asked to make for a while now, for a long time, really. Over and over, somebody's asked for this video, and not that I've been avoiding it, I just hadn't got around to it. Question is, how to beat the child support system. And I'm going to tell you right now that you can't. And I know that is not what you want to hear, but there is always a but. There are things you can do to position yourself. There are things you can do to put yourself in a better position against them. So, first and foremost, what is the child support system? For anybody that does not know. The child support system, it is 100% a legal entity appointed by the courts, appointed by the state to extract money from the father of their child. Okay, they are backed by your local state, your local county, state government. They're backed by, it can turn into federal if it actually had to, but it never really gets that high unless things get way out of control. It never really gets to federal. It usually stays within your county and state. They will come after you. They will come after everything. They will come after your bank accounts. They will come if you have a home loan. They will attack your home loan. They will put a lien on your property. They will put a lien on anything against you if they can. This is why I'm pretty much, I've told you guys before, I'm 85% out of the system. It's why I do not own, I'm not behind on child support. I'm not behind. I want to be very clear on that. I'm not behind. I want to be off of it when it's my time. I got 5 years left. I want to be off when it is my time to get off. So I'm going to give you guys my strategy. I'm going to let you know what I did when the things child support left me homeless at 32 years old. I'm going to let you guys know the things that I did and what I'm doing to protect myself. So again, it will come after everything you own. It will come after if you got a real estate license, a fishing license, a hunting license, if you have hell, if you got a forklift license through the state or through a government agency, it will take that from you if you're behind. And usually the behind amount, once you start getting at about $10,000 is where they start to act real shitty towards you. Normally you can slide under the radar. You know, if you're just $2,000 behind or so on, they'll kind of leave you alone. They'll send you a threatening letter every month. You guys know that, guys that are on child support. For those that don't know, pay attention. Listen. Don't let this shit happen to you. They will threaten you every month. They will threaten you. They will threaten your bank accounts. They will send you threatening notices every month of what they're going to do to you. And it's overwhelming. It really fucking is. It is overwhelming to live your life this way. That's why I tell people child support is slavery. And yeah, they may not have you in whips and chains and all that old shit, but it is 100% slavery. You're a wage slave. You're forced to work and labor and live off of nothing. Child support has left me, if I didn't do the things that I'm doing, I wouldn't have been able to pay my rent this month because of some paperwork error they had with the insurance policies and they took way more money from me. And that's real shit. I wouldn't have been able to pay my rent this month if all my money was a W-2 format. But luckily, I pay attention. I've made the proper preparations for my life. And so to the average guy, to the average kid out there that's just, you know, barely getting by already on his income and you're now getting thrown on child support, they don't care, man. They don't care about you. They don't care about how you're living, how you pay your bills. They don't care if you got food in the fridge. They do not care. And your kid's mother 100% put them on you. So women that are watching this, you need to already know completely and understand that there is no way for your child's father to be a father if he's on child support. There's no way. Unless you're allowing him to be on a low payment, you know, $500 or less a month, then maybe. You know, but I get it. If you need help, you need help. I completely understand that. So I'm not saying if he's a deadbeat loser and you got to put him on child support, do what you got to do. But if this man shows up and shows out for birthday parties and Christmases and he's showing up and being a dad and he's showing up to sporting events and doing what he's supposed to do, take him off child support. Quit being a bum. I mean, seriously, quit being a freaking bum. He'll do way more for that kid off child support than what he will on child support. Child support hinders you. It hinders you from growth. It hinders you from moving forward in your own personal life. It hinders you from being a father, from being a parent. When you're paying high child support, there's no more Christmas. There's no more birthdays. There's no more being able to really show up and be a happy parent. It's impossible. It affects the entire relationship in a complete, it does a round robin on effect in the whole relationship. It tears everything up. So if you want your child to have a father, do not put them on child support. Do not do that shit. There's no reason to involve the state and local governments in your family business. If he's not helping, do what you got to do. I understand that, but enough said on that topic. How to beat it? You can't. You cannot beat child support. But what you can do, it's brutal. It's brutal, but it's like I tell you guys, you got to get back to zero. What you can do on child support, I don't know everybody's situation, everybody's walks of life are different, but the first thing that I would do if I was thrown under the bus on child support and I couldn't keep up with the payments, I'm downgrading my life. I'm getting rid of everything that I have. I mean it. I'm not talking shit. I'm not telling lies. I'm getting rid of everything I have. I'm selling my car. I'm getting rid of all negative debt. I'm paying off all debt. And you're going to have to do this while you maintain the payments, while you maintain child support payments. But I'm getting rid of everything that I have. I'm getting rid of the car. I'm getting rid of all negative debt. I'm paying off all negative debt. I'm getting rid of credit cards. I'm getting rid of everything, and I'm getting myself to zero. I'm not stacking cash at this point. I'm not looking for an emergency fund of any sort. I just want to be to zero. The only payment I want to have coming in is my basic survival rate, what it costs for me to live on planet Earth. And if you really do what I'm telling you to do, your basic survival rate should drop dramatically. That shit should drop quick, and it should drop very low. I would say just for an average human being on planet Earth, just to survive in 2024, I would say your basic survival rate should be $24,000. Maybe less, honestly. And if you're wondering how, you're going to move and you're going to don't even worry about being a father anymore. You're fighting for your financial freedom. You're fighting for your life. And this is God's honest truth. So if you're on a high income and you got a low child support payment, then this video is probably not for you. But when you're freaking 25 years old and you work at Walmart and Walmart's extracting $800 a month from you and Walmart only pays you $2,000 a month and they're yanking $800 of it to child support, this video is for you. When you're freaking on a lower income and they're taking 25% of it from you and you got all these other bills, get rid of all that other shit. Maintain your monthly child support payments and get rid of everything. I don't give a fuck what people say about you. I don't care who's pointing their finger and laughing. You need to get rid of all relationships that are negative anyway. And you need to go straight to zero as fast as you possibly can. I've told you guys about integers, negatives and positives. You need to get back to zero. We're getting to zero. The only thing I want is rent, lights, water, gas. If I can dump that shit, I'm going to dump it. I swear I would. If it wasn't for me already having my son, I have one son that lives with me, so I had to maintain. But if I did not have any children living with me, I probably would have lived in my car or I would have lived in a tent. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. I would have done one of those options for a while. I would have lived in my car, would have lived in a tent, and I would have got myself to zero really fast. I would have paid off all negative debt, and the only thing coming out would have been food and child support. Now, once I got that under control and I got my debt under control, I'm going to take a low income paying job. And then I'm going to go back to, I'm either going to not work, which is horrible. I mean, because you have a kid, you need to take care of your kid. And anybody out there, it only costs about I've raised my son alone for the past 12 years. It only cost, about 13 years. It only cost $500 a month for a kid. You have to any woman watching this, you already had rent, lights, water, and gas. You're a human being. You got to have a place to live. But when you add a child into it, you can't tell me any different. You're being wasteful after this. A child only costs about $500 a month. That is your food. That is a few game cards. That's a couple little things here and there. That's some Texas Roadhouse. I've done the math. A child only costs about $500 a month. So to anybody trying to get more than that, it's just disgusting to me. Because now I'm paying your bills. These guys are paying your bills. They're paying your rent, your car payment. You know, my son's mother out in California lives great. They got a nice apartment, you know, expensive as hell, like a $3,000 a month apartment, gym, swimming pool, hot tubs, jacuzzis. She's got 2 cars, 2 motorcycles, all this shit living off of me. So get yourself back to zero. Let's just revert. Get yourself back to zero as fast as you can. From there, like I said, I would live in a tent. I would live in my car. If I can't do that, then I'm dumping the car. I'll probably start riding a bicycle. I'm going to take a low income job, because child support 100% is based off of your W-2 income. Anything that they can find in the system is what they're going to base it off of. So unless you can get cash paying jobs and stay out of the system, which is very rare these days and pretty hard, unless you can get those types of jobs would come from maybe if you owned a cleaning business, or if you're 1099, you know, if you're running your own business or something like that. If you're a business owner, that's a different story. But other than that, to these young guys out there that aren't business owners, you know, cutting grass, doing this, doing that to work under the table, there's those things. Be a cab driver, work for tips. There's those kind of things, you know, be a waiter. But get yourself back to zero, and then take a low paying job. Your low paying job, we're talking whatever, $15 an hour. That's, you know, something like that. Let child support, base that child support off of this. And this is in hopes that your child's mother leaves you alone for a while. My son's mother, she increases the child support about every 2 years. Because so basically the way my son's mother does is, let's say my child support is more than this, but let's say that it's at $1,000 right now. She knows that I have to base my life off losing $1,000 a month. So she knows I'm either going to go get a second job, or I'm going to find a higher paying job, or I'm going to take all the overtime I can. She knows me, and she knows I'm going to increase. I'm never going to just default. I'm never going to go backwards. I'm always going to increase. And so she'll come back on me in about 2 years. They'll say, oh, okay, well, he made $135,000 last year, and they'll increase it again. And then they'll say, oh, in 2 years, oh, well, he made this, and they'll increase it again. So the more you make, the more they'll take. But in the beginning, take a low income job, your McDonald's, your freaking Hardee's, your Burger King, wherever you're at. Take some fast food job, go wash dishes for a while. Let them base that income off that low paying job. Once that child support is set and that income, off that income, go run and as fast as you can and get a higher paying job. So if you took a job at $15 an hour, you need to run as fast as you can to an Amazon, a UPS or something, and get yourself to $20 an hour with overtime and start bringing in that. Or you need to go find you 2 jobs. And hopefully your child's mother leaves you alone. But it's highly likely that she won't. And so within a year or 2 years, because she can go to them every 6 months to have this increased or to have your wages checked. She can go to them maybe every 90 days if something dramatic happens, or she feels like there was a dramatic change in your living standard, your wages. She can do that every 90 days if she has good reason. But usually it's about every 6 months, depending on the state you're in. And so you're going to run and you're going to grab 2 jobs, you're going to grab a higher paying job, and you're going to start stacking cash. Don't change your living standard. Don't try to go rent some fancy ass apartment because now you're making more money. No, you still live way below your means, and you start stacking cash outside of the bank, because she's coming back around for more money eventually. And so when she comes back around for more money, they're going to raise your child support. And you have 2 options at that point. You either go find a higher paying job, get a second job, or you just stop work, because child support goes off of 6 months worth of work history. So that means you will have to stop work or take a lower paying job. And this is where your cash reserve comes in. You will have to stop work or take a lower paying job. If you stop work, they're going to stack that debt up on you, because just because you don't work, child support doesn't stop. It's going to take them 6 months to allow you, because you can't go and complain. Your son's mother can go and complain and get them to open it up maybe every 90 days, depending on the state. But you as the father have to wait every 6 months. So you stop work, that child support is going to keep stacking against you for those 6 months. So if your child support, let's just say for math purposes, is $1,000 a month, and you stop work, then now you're $6,000 in debt. and you're going to have to live off your cash reserve, or you're going to have to be paying your child support off cash reserve. I don't recommend you paying your child support off your cash reserve, because that's going to make them wonder, how have you been supporting yourself, and how have you been able to keep up with payments without a job? And then they're going to be like, okay, well, he's got money coming in from somewhere, we just don't know where. They can't do anything about it because it's not in the system, but they'll know, and they'll put shit like that in your packet, and it'll be for future reference. Something else I want you to know, I don't fill out any paperwork. I no longer fill out child support paperwork. They don't care. They're going to do whatever they want to do. So when they send me, you guys know those packets of forms they send you to fill out, your freaking income declarations and things, I don't fill none of that shit out. None of it. I just throw it away. All I care about is court dates. I appear to every court date. I don't fill out any paperwork for the child support system. I never will again. I did it the very first time. I realized they did not give a shit about me. They didn't care about my bills. They didn't care about what was going on in my life. So there's no point in me filling it out. They're 100% going to go off of what you make. Whatever information they find through the IRS.gov system is what they are going to go off of. I can't be any more clear than that. Whatever they find in the IRS.gov system is what they're going to base your child support off of. If you tell them anything else, you're telling on yourself. So when I go to court, I don't answer questions. I just tell them that, hey, whatever you got is what it is. And that's the end of it. I don't fill out paperwork. I tell them we must have mailed it to the wrong address. They always read my address off. Yeah, that's my address, but I didn't get it. I live in an apartment complex and must have went into somebody else's box. I didn't get it. All I ever do is appear at court dates. I don't fill out nothing else, and I don't give them any information. Whatever they have is what I make them go off of. So if you can't find out anything about anything else, that's your fault, not my problem. If it didn't fall into those 6 months before the court date, it's not my problem. So we've got ourselves back to zero. We've downgraded our entire life. We got ourselves back to zero. We took a low-paying job. We let them base it off the low-paying job. Once the child support is set, hopefully $500-600 a month on that low-paying job, I'm going to either go find a higher-paying job, or I'm going to grab 2 jobs. Don't say you don't want to work like that. This is your life now. I'm sorry. This is it. It's over. Don't fuck around with this. Don't play games. Keep up with your payments, because the last thing you want to do is wake up 65, 70 years old. I've worked with guys in their 60s still trying to pay off child support. Don't do that shit to yourself. Don't allow that to happen to you. Keep paying. Make your payments. Do not run from it, because it will go nowhere. Okay? Do not run from child support, because it will go nowhere. Keep up with your payments. Make your payments. Get your modifications and your adjustments as needed. Do what you're supposed to do for yourself. So to reiterate, we got ourselves back to zero. We downgraded our life. We're back to zero. We sold the car. We're not trying to flex on people. We're riding a bicycle. We're doing whatever we need to do. We took a low-paying job. They based the child support off that low-paying job. We've either found a second job, low-paying job, and a second job, or we went and found a higher-paying job. When they come for more money, because they will, that's when you have to decide, am I going to quit this job and live off my cash reserve because I've been stacking cash this whole time? Hopefully you get a couple years with no harassment, and you can start really stacking a good hefty bank account. You want cash. You don't want it in the bank. I'm sorry, I'd say bank account. You want to become the CEO. You want to become your own central bank now. Why? Because they'll reach into your account and take whatever they want. They've done it to me. They will levy your accounts. They will levy everything against you. You want to keep cash on hand. All right. And if you're really, really that worried about cash, then put your money into silver and gold. Put it into guns, the things that don't lose value. Okay. Put it into whatever you need to, but you want to keep cash on hand. So when they come back around, you either got to make that decision. Am I going to allow them to base it off my high-paying job or both incomes? Or am I going to quit work, stay at the payment I'm at, let that stack up against me, be in the arrears a little bit, allow them to base child support off of me not working, which they won't, not for 6 months. So, and then you go back. And so basically what will happen is you'll get the notification to go back to court, and you've been either making a higher wage or you've been working 2 jobs. Your wage, your income is higher now. You'll get the notification to go back to court. And that's when you might as well just go ahead and, because they're going to base it off your jobs anyway. So it doesn't matter. So you can either choose to keep on working, go find a higher paying job, or you, after court, you can just quit the job and then just live on your cash reserves for 6 months and then go back to court again and tell them I've hurt my back or whatever you've done. I've lost my job. And they're going to see in the history that you haven't worked in 6 months. And they're going to, and when they say, well, how you been living? You just tell them the truth. I live in a tent. I live in my car. I live with my mom, whatever it is. And they're going to drop your child support down to the bare minimum. That's going to allow you to catch up the arrears payment, go find more jobs, do what you need to do. And it sucks that you have to live your life this way, but this is 100% your life now. And you're going to have to play the game, and you're going to have to learn to stay ahead of hard times. So the best way to do this is to get out of the system completely. Don't borrow money anymore unless you know how to leverage debt, unless that money is going to make you more money. Do not borrow money anymore. Just stack as much cash as you personally can. Keep it in your home. Take 2 breakfast hams. Hit them with a little bit of water. Wrap your cash up in a freaking Ziploc bags in a Walmart bag. Stuff like that that won't get wet. Mash it between the hams and freeze them. That way, I mean, nobody's stealing breakfast hams if somebody breaks in. And if your house catches on fire, it's not going to burn up. So there's that option. Fireproof box. You guys know these things. But for the rest, until your child is grown, you're out of the system. That is the only way to thrive and survive if you have a very toxic, bitter baby mama. Because she will use it against you, and she will come and harass you over and over and over again. And it's going to happen for the next 18 years or until this child's grown, however many years you have left. It's not fun. It's disgusting. It's sad that the laws that they allow women to have to use, be able to use against men, it's 100% slavery. It's a way to keep men in the system, and they don't want you to pay, because every time you don't pay, they like it, because that comes in with fines. That comes in with revoking your driver's license, you having to appear in court and pay all these court costs, and that it just turns into a giant money pit. And so the best way you can do it is to live out of the system. Take whatever jobs you want. Just remember, the more you make, the more they'll take. Most states, a lot of states take 17%. California takes 25% where I'm at. And they don't stop, man. They don't stop. They'll take your income taxes. They'll let them take your taxes. I wouldn't care. Take my taxes. That just helps me out to keep me from having to be in the arrears when I'm older. As long as I do everything right, I'll be off in the next 5 years. And I'm not behind. I got 5 years left. Hopefully they leave me alone for a while. But, you know, I mean, I'm already paying almost $2,000 a month. So, and there was no end in sight. So, and I mean, I got one kid living with me. He'll be 18 in 3 years. And then I got my other son in California. He'll be 18 in 5 years. So, I mean, brother, there's no way to beat the system. Not if you want a life, because they'll find it. The only way to beat them is to be a deadbeat dad and not work. That's the only way. So the only way that's going to work out well for you is if you got somebody that allows you to live with them, is if you make sure my mic, I was like doing all this talking, but the only way that's going to work out well for you is if you got somebody that allows you to live with them. A dead relative left you a home. You got a camper. You don't mind living in a tent. You don't mind being homeless, because once they start, they won't stop. They'll run your credit. You won't be able to rent anything. You won't be able to buy anything. They will 100% run your life and harass you. You won't be able to do anything. So women that are listening, this is why I tell you that if you want your child to have a father, do not put them on child support. Again, I'm going to tell you that if they're not helping, I understand. Do what you got to do. But if this man shows up and he's doing the best he can for birthdays and Christmases, and he's trying to really be an active father, you're a dirtbag for putting them on child support. You hands down are. And I mean, that's when I hear these stories, like when I go on dates and women are like, oh yeah, my baby daddy this and that, and he's on child support. Those are red flags to me. Instantly red flags to me. And I'm like, I don't want to date this person, because the shit you do to him is exactly what you would do to me if me and you had a kid, or if me and you were together. It's what you would do to me. So I instantly don't want to date you. I don't want to be with you. I think it's toxic as hell. And I see these things and I don't want any part of it. It's happened to me. I see it happen to countless men. So if you really want your child to have a father, which is more important than child support, trust me, your child having a father is way more important than child support. Don't put that man on child support, because it's going to ruin the relationship. It's going to ruin the mother-father relationship that the two of you have. You won't even be able to co-parent properly. It's going to ruin the relationship with the child, because while he's over here paying your bills, he's now not able to buy the game cards. He's not able to buy the cool shoes or the good gifts. He's not able to buy the things that he needs to buy to stay solid in the eyes of the child. Because now the child's like, damn, my daddy ain't never got no money. My daddy ain't never trying to buy me nothing or take me nowhere. He can't. He can't, because he's fighting for his fucking financial life. He can't. Because as soon as he falls behind, they come for his freaking rent. They come for his freaking credit. They come for his freaking mortgage. They come for his damn driver's license. They come for his job. They attack him from all angles. So the man can't be a father. He's having to fight for his financial freedom. It's slavery. You've thrown the man in the system. You might as well have just said arrest him. I mean, it's almost better to go to jail than pay child support. And that's sad. And that's saying a lot. And there's going to be women that say, you just don't want to take care of your kid. No, you stupid. You already know what? No, it is not the fact that this person doesn't want to take care of his kids. It's the fact of the harassment that they give you. You can't live. I 100% have to live under the system. Child support left me homeless with a 10-year-old kid. The state of California does not even acknowledge that I have a son, full custody. I have 100% custody of my oldest son, and they do not even acknowledge the fact that I have him. Now, if I paid child support for him, they would acknowledge that coming out of my income. But since I don't pay child support for him, it doesn't matter. He's not acknowledged by the state of California. And that's almost every state. They only care about the child within that state. They only care about the child belonging to their county for support. So, again, real fast, fellas, to reiterate, you cannot beat the system, but there are things you can do to protect yourself and position yourself there are things you can do to protect yourself and put yourself in a better position to live. But you cannot beat them, because everything you do that involves the IRS, they will find out about it. And almost everything you're going to do, especially if you're trying to thrive in life, is going to involve the IRS. So what you have to do, just to fast track, reiterate real quick, is get rid of all the negative debt that you have. Get rid of all the bullshit as fast as you can. Get yourself back to zero. And now your basic survival rate includes child support. So build your basic survival rate around child support. Get your child support set from a low paying income job, and then go find a second job or a higher paying job. Once you do that, you need to stack cash. This is not the time to be luxurious and try to flex and floss because you got money coming in from all this hard work you're doing. It is time to still live well below your means and stack cash. Why do you think I drive a 20-year-old truck? Why do you think I live in an apartment that's my apartment's cool, but it's way less than I can afford more, but I don't, because I want cash on hand. I want cash for future investments. That's why I look for real estate, houses to flip, cars to flip. I look for anything to flip outside of the IRS. I look for anything to flip that I can make more money. I prefer to start lawn care businesses and landscaping companies and things like that when I do, because I look for things that I can be paid cash for under the table. When you own your own business, it is very hard for them to track what you make. So there's those little tips right there, but you want to fly under the radar until this child is grown. You want to keep up with your payments. You do not want to fall behind. You do not want to wake up 50, 60 years old still trying to pay off this shit. You want to 100% keep up with all your payments. If they need to take your taxes, let them take your taxes, whatever you need to do. If your child support is so high that it is hard for you to live, then you need to quit your job. And for 6 months, you can't work. That's where your cash reserve comes in, because they're going to base your child support off the previous 6 months. Now, if it's the beginning of the year, they're going to base your child support off last year's income tax. So you understand what I'm saying? They're going to base it off your last year's income tax. But then they're going to look in the system and they're going to say, okay, he hasn't worked in 6 months, so he is without a job. they're going to have to give you, they're going to have to set your child support down to a person that has no job, which is the bare minimum child support. I don't know, 150 bucks a month or whatever it is, very low. And then from there, you pay off your arrears balance and you get to work. But I'm sure your baby mama, if she's very toxic like mine is, she's coming back around, and she's coming back around quick to harass you. And she's going to do this over and over and over again. It's a round robin. It never ends. So the best thing you can do is what I just told you to do. And then also personal development, self-help, and learn, get yourself a skill set that nobody could take from you. Go learn heating and air, learn a trade job, learn heating and air, learn carpentry, learn construction, learn things that nobody can take from you. That way you always have something to fall back on. Learning marketable skills that nobody could take from you that are valuable in the workplace will be the best decision you ever made in your life. Because once you're off child support, you will have a great track record of work history, and you will have a great track record of marketable skills, and sky's the limit. You just got to get off of it, man. You just got to get them off your ass, and don't have any more kids. Like I've told you guys, man, get married once, have kids once. I don't care if you have 10 kids, have them with one woman. Do not have kids with multiple women out there, and you'll be just money going everywhere in the system. It's not good. It's not healthy. And once you're off child support, man, sky's the limit. Run with it. Go ball out, stunt, do everything you want to freaking do. But until that day comes, you're going to have to live well below your means and live well off the system. If you guys got any tips, leave them in the comments below, because I know there are people hurting. I know that this has been a hard thing for a lot of, it's hard on me, and I'm a tough sumbitch. I mean, I really think I am. And so I know the people that, to the average man, because I feel beyond the average man, I'm a tough SOB, man. And it is hard on me. So I know to people that have never been through the things that I've been through or been in my shoes, come from my walk of life, my back history, I know that it is going to be really, or is really hard on you. So to you other guys that are going through this or have been through this, leave it in the comments below, tips and tricks of things that you know that maybe I didn't touch on, maybe I don't know. Go in there and help some brothers out, because I know some of these guys need some help. I tried to cover all the bases. I didn't take any notes on this. I tried to cover everything I know. So go in there and leave some comments below and help these guys out. If you got any value out of this video, man, smash that freaking like button. Push me to through the algorithm. Push this video through the algorithm, because I know there are some guys out there that don't know who I am, and they need to hear this type of information because they don't know what to do. So last time, we're going to zero, man. We're dumping all that shit. I'm getting rid of the apartment. I'm getting rid of the car. I know this sounds extreme, but it's what I'm doing. And this right here will save you in the future if you listen to me. I'm getting fucking rid of everything. I'm going to zero. I'm either going to live in my car, live in a tent, live with a relative. I'm going to live with somebody, and I'm going to cut all my expenses, and then I'm going to build my life based around my child support payment. Hopefully you got it set at a low income. If it's not set at a low income, then there's a good chance she'll leave you alone. If you're already paying $1,000 a month, there's a good chance she will leave you alone and not come back around, because hopefully that's enough. But I guarantee you she'll be back around 15, 16 years old when your child turns 15, 16 and wants a car, wants to start driving, things like that. She will be back around. Anyways, if you guys got anything out of this video, man, smash that like button, leave some comments below, help each other out. I hope I gave you some value, some comfort of what you can do to really just get ahead of this and stay ahead of this. All right. All right, guys, you guys have a good night. Take care.